I think we should go look at rings. What? Do you disagree?
I know that she's joking and playing around, but saw that video just got me thinking. This kind of theory I have that I believe women that have kids with men, get married to men, either they barely know him, like again, you've been in a relationship with him three months, 6 months, a year, and you already have a kid with him, or you already got married with him only after a year being together, or you barely put the time into getting to know him. Getting to know how he is when he's mad, when he's sad, when he's happy, when he's struggling, when he's up, when he has money, when he's successful. You don't really know him throughout all of kind of different kind of situations, different kind of tribulations. You don't really know him. And then all of a sudden you are in, let's say, a certain situation. He lost his job. And then you're surprised that he gets angry. That's the thing where I believe a lot of women barely know the man that they're with, barely know the man that they have a kid with, or get married to, and you see it with how relationships consistently end. Women say they fell in love with him. He's not who she thought he is. Because let's also say the thing about the lying shit, because women constantly say, oh, what if he lied? What if he lied? What if he lied? But here's the thing: lies cannot last. Lies don't last. Facades fall down eventually. Just gotta give it time. That's it. Just give it time, and not just time, but actually look at the cracks. Don't ignore it, because this is a thing where women don't talk about. Yes, men lie, but what also women do? They ignore the cracks. They ignore the red flags. Not just men lie, because honestly, men aren't that great at lying. I don't believe men are that great at lying. What helps is that women are ignorant when they're in love, or what they perceive as love. They ignore clear red flags, or pretty clear red flags, just to help strengthen that lie. So I don't really enable women's excuse of him lying, because we all know it. When we're in love, we ignore red flags. It is what it is. So it's just a kind of a theory I had that a lot of women, they barely know the man that they're with.
I was talking to some of my girlfriends about this the other day, and I'm afraid I'm not my type's type. Like, the guys that I like, I don't think I'm their type, which is just so unfortunate for me.
That is something that a lot of women have yet to realize, or they realize too late. This is why, dating statistics is, it's pretty true. Why 80% of women go for the 20% of men, top 20% of men. And only to find out that either the top 20% of men only want you for sex, or they don't want you at all. To find out that the men that you want, you're nothing special. Attractive women is all over the place. This is why you find out the men that you want, they won't commit to you. They will play you. They will lie to you, because honestly, they're not bothered. They are not bothered if they lose you or not, because to them, you are easily replaceable. This is a thing where, for men, good women are hard to find, because most women find most men unattractive. Even the good women are not attracted to most men. But for the top tier men, good women are easy to find. Easy to find. They're attracted to them. So it's not that hard. So again, this is something that a lot of women have yet to realize. They have yet to realize, or if they have realized it, they have yet to really implement that realization into their life. Or they won't realize this until it's too late, until they're 35, 40, a baby mama or whatever, and then they have to settle, which is, I believe it's a stupid thing too, because honestly, you're just hurting the man that you think you're settling for, when in reality, you were pretty much at his level, but you thought you deserved better, the man that you wanted, that honestly, you weren't at his level, or he didn't want you. So, yeah.
When you give a guy that's not your type a chance, you always lose.
Couple things. This is a thing where women that think like this think there's something special. Here's the thing where you think that you're settling for a man that's not your type. And then you come with the energy that I'm better than you. So you should be happy that I'm giving you a chance. Because you're not my usual type. That energy, that mindset. Guess what? No man that's dealing with that would appreciate that shit. No man on this earth appreciates any woman that's settling for him. That thinks that, you know what, he's below her. She is brightening his day to even give him some of her time. It's like, seriously? What man appreciates that? What man wants that? So yeah, a man would use that, but not want to deal with that. So that's not the mindset you go into a relationship. You're not my type, but I'll give you a chance. Really? It's like you're supposed to, no man wants to be settled for. No man wants to be settled for. Okay, and two, here's the thing where a lot of women don't realize. How about instead of thinking about, I'm gonna change my type, how about get with a man that's truly, is morally sound, has integrity, he's kind, he's loving, he's respectful, he's emotionally intelligent, he has morals, right? He believes in whatever, monogamy. He doesn't believe in cheating. It's not gonna. It's like, how about that? Change your type from shitty men, bad men, the liars, the cheaters, and go for men with integrity. Who cares what he looks like, right? As long as he's not Quasimodo, he's a decent man. Go for that. Take your time. I'm not saying rush. I'm not vet men properly. Weed them out. Don't focus on superficial shit. How good looking he is, how charming he is, and how much money he has. Superficial shit. Weed out that shit. Vet him on his morals. Vet him on his personality. Vet him on the people around him. It's like, seriously. Just gonna say, let me change my type. Usually type is like, I don't know, athletic guy, then fat guy. You think fat men don't cheat? Being fat or skinny or whatever doesn't make you holier than thou. It's who you are inside. There are morally sound athletic men. There are morally sound fat men. Whoop-de-doo is not crazy. It's just judge people on their character, not the cover of their book. I wish I was a stronger man. When I was like 25 or so, 25, 26, I had a girlfriend. I fell in love with this girl. She was black. I fell in love with this girl. She was amazing to me. She, literally, she loved me. She at times it felt like she worshipped the ground I walked on. She treasured me like I've always desired a woman to do. But at 20, in my mid-20s, or I wasn't a man of conviction or strength or will, and I caved because my family didn't agree to it. I knew my family wouldn't agree with it. So for a year, we were in a relationship, and I hid it. And then I think it was like the second year or so, she wanted more of my time. But because, I hid the relationship, I couldn't give her enough. And so it went to the point where she wanted me to stop hiding. But this is a thing where, again, I was a weak man. I was weak. I was pathetic. I was scared, right? I've always listened to my parents. I've always listened to them. I've obeyed pretty much everything. I was clean cut. I listened to my parents. I knew that they would not agree with it. I knew it would bring drama, so I ended that relationship, destroying her, breaking her heart. She will always be the one that got away. She will always be the one that that I knew was maybe a soulmate, but because of my insecurities, because of my weakness, because of my lack of strength, I caved. I gave up. Because here's the thing, right? Now I'm older. Yes, here's the thing, right? After that period, I looked at myself and I was like, no, I hate who I was. because I was living, you know, under my parents' roof. Even at 25, I was living with them, so they were providing for me. They were taking care of me. So that's one of the reasons why I was scared. But it's like I looked at myself and I'm like, I was depressed. I was like, God damn, seriously, you're not a man. That you couldn't stand up for the woman you love. You couldn't. You had to hide her. So that pushed me to. I had to leave. I had to, you know, be the man that I think that I should be. You know, conviction, strength, you know, determination, all that. So I had to. I left my mom's house. You know, branched out, did my own thing. It's like, you know, but later on, years later, my younger sister, who's married to a black guy, and I was like, and my mom loves the guy. I'm like, it was a black eye to me, you know, that I didn't have the strength and conviction to not care what other people think. Not care what other people think, not care what my parents think, and did what my heart desires. I mean, I've changed that after I left, because predominantly I've dated black women. But it's just that she was the one that got away, because she loved me wholeheartedly, and I failed her. I feel like in subsequent relationships, I love the person wholeheartedly. I wanted to make a change. I wanted to be not the man that I was. I wanted to be someone I was proud of. So, you know, I've met plenty of women that I love wholeheartedly, but I didn't. Maybe it's karma. That didn't love me wholeheartedly. But yeah, it's just that video. You know, it reminded me of my weakness. This is the thing where I hope more men, especially, is that one of the things we gotta do is gain our strength, persevere. Have determination. Don't shock yourself. Don't let your insecurities hold you back. So, yeah.
Men, what is a high body count? Because I swear I could tell a guy it's 1 and he'd be like, that's too high. You're a hoe. So I need like the honest answer. What's high?
I'm gonna say what a lot of content creators are not saying, at least the popular ones. It's not necessarily about the body count. Now, if you have 1,000, now that's just too crazy. But here's the thing: it's not necessarily about the body count. It's what the body count does. The consequences, the results of the body count. This is the thing where a lot of women don't recognize. The more men you deal with, the more likely you've dealt with a ton of bad men. The more likely. Now, maybe if you've dealt with only one man in your life and he's a bad man, yeah. But it's more about balance of probability. If you have had sex with like 20 men, out of those 20, guarantee you at least 5, if not half of them, or even more, have done you dirty, have lied, cheated, abused, whatever, have just made you jaded, bitter, distrusting, combative, less feminine, less just really less peaceful, more argumentative, just annoying to be around. That is what men talk about. That's the real reason of body count. Men in the real world, yes, they don't talk about body count, but what they see is that what has life experience done to you? What has the life experience done to you? It has made you, honestly, a worse person to be around. It has made you, like I said, annoying, combative, just aggressive, because the men you chose, not just men just, you know, suddenly appear in your life. No, the men you are attracted to, the men you attract, the men you chose to date, the men you chose to give your body to. These men have done you dirty. So now you bring all that trauma, all that distrust, all that, you know, changing of who you were, right? When you were like maybe more innocent, more feminine, more friendly, more peaceful. Now you bring that trauma into the next relationship to a guy that, you know what, he may be of a certain caliber, but to be honest, he's tired of it. He doesn't want to deal with you. He doesn't need to deal with you. He doesn't need to handle you because of your own choices. This is the thing where a lot of women don't realize. It's not necessarily even about why men date younger. It's not necessarily about age. It's about the balance of probability. The younger you are, the less of a headache you'll be. Now, of course, there are younger women that was like, you know, annoying, but it's just men deal with the balance of probability. Yes, younger women are technically, or in some views, more attractive, but honestly, a lot of men that deal with younger women, they're hoping that, you know what, dealing with a younger woman more than likely will be less of a headache than dealing with a woman who's around your own age, more expectant, higher standards, better, combative, all this stuff, and then also have higher standards and yet lower value, lower dating market value. Because here's the thing, a lot of men value beauty, you have less of. And that's fine, but now, the second thing men would value, personality, it's worse. Your personality is worse. You're more expectant. You have a high ego. So really, there's no trade-off. This is the thing where a lot of women don't realize. Fine, you are older. It's cool. You're not as attractive as you once were, which is fine. But then your personality is worse than when you were 21, 25. Your personality is worse. You are more chaotic. You are more bitter. You are more expectant. And no, that's not cool. So it's not necessary. I'm not saying in all cases. It's not necessarily age or body count. It's what it represents.
Listen, I'm all about guys being more in touch with their feminine side. You know, like I love that for you. But it's hard to be in your soft girl era, which I feel like we all want to be in our soft girl era right now. At least I do. But it's like when all the guys are in their soft girl eras, it's like, I gotta be the boyfriend and the girlfriend?
BB Rex, a multimillionaire, wanting to be in her soft girl era. You have money. What do you need a man for? To do what? Anything a man can buy, you can already buy. Your soft girl era? Or you just want to be lazy, keep your money for yourself, and spend a man's money? This is the thing with women. You promote equality. You want to work. You want, to make your own. And yet you still want men to pay shit for you. Give you the soft girl era. She herself is a multimillionaire. What do you think a man's gonna provide? And two, women work. They're not clamoring to be stay-at-home wives. They're not. It's like you want a soft girl era. Guess what? It doesn't also come being provided for. Doesn't also come with doing whatever you want. No authority over you. It's like, really? Where's that coming from? Where's all the responsibility? No authority. This is insane because just talking about her. She most likely, being rich herself, will probably only date exclusively rich men. And you can't even get these men to give you your soft girl era. Guess why? Because you have very little to offer to these men besides your body. That's it. Because you want these men, these rich, wealthy men, to provide for you, but have no authority over you. Guess what? Why even the rich women to the poor women will have problems with dealing with men. Because one, your standards are insane, unrealistic. Because if it was realistic, you would qualify for it. You would be, she, who is a millionaire, would get a man that she wants to provide for her. She would get a man that would give her the life that she wants. But she can't get man. She can't get him. She can't get a man that will provide the life that she wants. So you don't qualify for it because it's too high for you. And it's only going to get worse. It's only get harder. Because a lot of these women are selfish, egotistical. They want all the benefits, none of the cons that come with it. You want to be fully provided for, but you want a man to have no authority over you. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. We don't provide for children that have no authority over them. So, no.
I have said this before and I will say it again. You might be too much for someone, but you'll be just right for someone else.
This is the thing where I hate these kind of advices. That's why I don't really give advice, because it's just ridiculous sometimes. Because here's the thing. Yeah, you may be just right for someone, but that person may not be what you want. This is the thing where I did a video ago saying with the Alex Warren thing, move on. You may be someone else's dream girl. Yeah, you would. You probably would. But you could probably be the dream girl to a man that you don't want. That's the thing where a lot of women don't understand. This Tate thing, yeah, you're maybe too much to the man that you want. But yeah, you might not. But you might be just fine for the man that you don't want. Then what? Now you're just single. Now you just give up because the men you do want, you can't get. The man that you do want, you can't get, or all you have is the men that you don't want. Because this is the thing where instead of, reflecting on why are you struggling in love? Why are the men that you want don't want you? Instead of some self-reflection, just say, stay too much, and try to find the man that will want that. And not think that, yeah, there will be men that will want that. But will those men be the ones that you want? It's really quite simple. But it's like, instead of, self-reflecting, you know what? Am I being too much for needlessly? Am I being just annoying, an ass, whatever, to these men that I want them, or that I'm in relationship with them, or whatever? Instead of self-reflection, what to improve yourself? No, stay who you are. stay who you are, and find the men that want that. Cool. And that's not, that's not a terrible thing. But no woman realized that men that would want you might not be the men that you want because you are stubborn and not maybe being the best version you can for your partner. Not just the best version, whatever you want. No, for your partner, because I think a lot of people have a selfish idea when it comes to a relationship. They only think about themselves. They don't care what the other person wants, what the other person, I don't know, is interested in, whatever. They don't. And then you suffer because you find the person that you want that person, but honestly, you just have bad habits that they don't want.
There's nothing like a naturally beautiful woman who knows that she's naturally beautiful and knows that God made her perfect in her image despite what society has to say or what they feel like beautiful is. I am beautiful. There's nothing like a...
Here's my thing. I'm not really talking about how she looks. I don't really care. But this is the thing where I want to talk about confidence is fine. Having confidence in yourself is perfectly okay. But this is the thing where I think a lot of women have gone beyond confidence, where now they're egotistical. Now they clearly represent narcissism. Because this is the thing where, fine, if she thinks she's beautiful, cool. I mean, whatever. It's great confidence. The problem I see is that a lot of women, average women to even below average women, now have so much ego that they think that they are better than average men. Men that are honestly at their level. I see this more and more that women think that no matter whatever they believe, if they believe they're beautiful, cool. But whatever society views differently, your dating market value, whatever, they see it different. So a man that's actually her equal in dating market value, she sees him as below her. Because in her mind, she sees herself as beautiful already. Now you add on that she has a job that pays her decent. Well, now a man that's at her level, at her dating market level, is below her in her eyes. So we have, I don't know what I call it, epidemic, but a problem where a lot of women, average women to below average women, thinking that they are better than men at their level. But it's fine. Like I'm saying, I'm not necessarily complaining about it because here's the thing where if you have the confidence, cool. But what I find is that a lot of women are now complaining that there's no good men out there. There's no attractive men out there. Even the average to below average women saying there's no attractive men out there. That there's no suitable, eligible men out there, which just means that there's no men that she finds attractive. And they just have all these complaints that the dating market is hard for them and that men are complaining about their standards. Because in all honesty, when you have the confidence in yourself, it's cool. But then you complain about your results. That's the thing. You complain about your results in the dating market. Now I come up and say that's the hypocrisy. Because you have such an overinflated ego that you think that if you are 5 or 4 in dating market value, you think that you are an 8 or a 9 or a 10. So in your mind, you think you're so perfect. Only perfect men qualify for you. So you find out that, you know what? 1, you can't find any perfect men. 2, if you could find perfect men, they don't want you, or they're not monogamous to you, or they cheat on you, they lie to you. And now you're complaining that the dating market is whatever. When in reality, you are doing it to yourself. You are the problem that you are facing. You are the root of it. So that's the thing where I just point out that, that's the delusion that honestly a lot of women, particularly average women, are having right now, where they have such an inflated ego, but they believe that they're perfect, they're beautiful, yet their results don't really show that the world believes the same delusion.
A girl, I saw something too. It was like, imagine a world without men. And then someone was like, well, who's going to protect you guys? Like if the world doesn't have men. And the girl goes, who are you protecting us from?
Animals, other women, studs.
Oh my God. No, go to hell.
I'm sorry.
I know it's a funny question or topic, but this is the delusion or the stupidity. That is a world that will never be. Stop it. We need to understand, we need to be able to coexist. But even that, this is something that we have made the world so civilized that women are delusional and entitled. Men protect you, not just from other men, yes, men do. That's a fact. That's the reality. There are bad men out there. But because we also made the world so civilized, yes, we protect you from nature. We protect you from animals. We protect you from other things. Yes, but we have evolved or civilized the world where we don't necessarily need to protect from animals, but we also protect you from nature. the world around you. Let's say when a natural disaster, who's the majority of the first responders? Men. It's usually men. It's usually men doing the heavy lifting, the construction work, to protect. Who's in a world where, and it's not just protecting, men sustain infrastructure. As much as women want to say they can do it all without men, they can't. They can't. Because if they could, women would know there are plenty of places where you can pick up a city and just build your own. They don't. Men create the infrastructure. Men maintain the infrastructure. Women, in large, not particularly, not specific women, but in mass, they cannot do it. They cannot do it. They cannot create nor maintain infrastructure. It's like, and they can't, women in large cannot tame the environment. They can't. You need strength. And that is what men have in abundance. Strength. Determination, willpower, mindset to do it. Women can't. So I always hate that and I think this is how women think too. A world without men. Men are the worst. Men are evil. You want a world without men. And I think that's such a poisonous, toxic mindset. Because that's why you're getting women are so unappreciative, so entitled, so disgustingly evil, that they mistreat men and they devalue men. I just think it's really disgusting.
Having high standards protects you from low quality situations. I'm gonna say it one more time. Having high standards protects you from low quality situations.
I find people who say high standards to be idiots. Because just saying you have standards pretty much accomplishes the goal. Have standards. Yes, I promote people to have standards. But then just saying you have high standards, it's kind of a oxymoron kind of thing. Usually when people say they have high standards, it's usually very materialistic, very superficial in nature. It's very superficial and very, like I said, it's very materialistic. It's very egotistical. Because I hope you can prove me wrong, because when people say I have high standards, it's usually, okay, let's say this. You have standards. I need a person who has a job, just has a job, can pay their own bills, has a place to live. Then you say high standards. What's higher than that? Oh, I need a person who makes 6 figures, 7 figures. I need a person who has, drives a, sports car, a luxurious car. I need a person who has a penthouse. That's the thing, where it's always, when people say high standards, they're essentially saying they're high maintenance, that their standards are unreasonable. Their standards are unreasonable, or their standards are just unrealistic in a sense. A man that says, I have high standards. It's like, what? Now you want a woman that's what, 9 or 10? A woman that says, I have high standards, what is it? That you want a man that makes 6 figures, $1 million? And it just shows you how egotistical you are. I don't think it's a good thing to have high standards. I promote people to have standards. Having high standards just shows you that a lot of people who says that are essentially narcissists. And they are essentially hypocrites. These are people who, because none of them are virgins. None of these people usually are virgins that have high standards. So it's either they have dated people that met their high standards, yet they couldn't sustain relationships with these people who met their high standards, or they have dated people who haven't met their high standards. So you have high standards, yet you are dating people who don't meet your standards. That don't really make sense. Then why even have high standards when you literally will ignore your high standards? That's the ridiculous of it. I've always seen examples of people who say they have high standards. They fit in those two categories. Date people that either don't meet your high standards, so why even have high standards? Or you date people that meet your high standards, yet you cannot sustain a long-term relationship with these types of people. Then what's the point? What's the point? I just think it's ridiculous. And it just shows you that these people are delusional, they're hypocrites, and they're just egotistical. Because like I said, essentially, saying you have high standards, you're just materialistic. You're just superficial, period. I've never seen a person say, I have high standards. I need someone have such high level of integrity, high level of morality, such amazing principles, has such an amazing character. No, nothing inside. Constantly, when someone say they have high standards, it's usually materialistic and superficial. Oh, also what he said, having high standards protects you from low, stupid. Having standards and keeping them, not letting anyone cross your boundaries, That's what prevents it. Not having high standards. What does that do? Like I said, even if you have high standards, if you don't, it's like if you ignore them or you let people cross your boundaries, cross their lines, it does nothing. It's having standards and just not letting people cross the boundaries, cross the line. That's it. What a stupid, ugh.
Imagine finding a beautiful, intelligent, independent, celibate, has no sugar daddies, gets everything she wants on her own woman in Miami, Florida, mind you, of all places. Imagine fumbling her. That would be all about you. Do everything for you. Ride for you till the fucking wheels flew off. Imagine fumbling that. I mean, that's like having a golden ticket and throwing it away. Yeah, that's a fat L you really cannot recover from.
Controversial opinion. Big red flag that a lot of women don't realize they have is the type of men they're attracted to. It's the men that they're attracted to. This is a thing where I think it's funny. No matter how perfect you think you are as a woman, and that's questionable in itself. I could dissect this a lot, but here's the thing I want to say. No matter how perfect you think you are, you won't ever realize the big flaw you have is the men you are attracted to. So let's say hypothetically, a woman that's amazing, she gives all that list that she gave, and she says she's pretty much God's gift to men. Fine, cool. And then she tells you all men she's dated have cheated on her. You would think, oh my God, these men are terrible, but here's the thing I'm thinking about. The common denominator is you. I've said this, there are good people and there are bad people out there. Why are you always attracted to the bad ones? I think, yes, these men are terrible. Let's say like you dated only cheaters, but that says a lot about you. It says a lot about you that, you know what, you didn't value character. The type of men you valued, obviously, were superficial. You valued men on how they look, their charm, most likely their wealth. So no matter how great you are, no matter how ride or die you think you are, you valuing superficial shit shows you how, honestly, a big red flag you are. Because you didn't judge the man or was attracted to a man based on his character, his personality, his moralities, his integrity. No, you are attracted to him based on superficial shit. I would say the same thing with men. If you want a model and all you know about her, all you see from her is how good she looks, and then she cheats on you, she treats you terrible, I would say the same thing. People don't realize you being great as you think you are, yet you are attracted to people purely on superficial shit, especially what you want them. Oh my God, I want this man because he's so good looking. I want this man because he's so wealthy, or that he spoils me. Instead of, I want this man because he's respectful, loving. He showed me good character. He has a past of just loving and respecting people. No, I love him because he's good looking, tall, and spoils me. And then you're surprised that, you're here on the internet complaining how great you are, but you know what, all the men you dated did you dirty. I think a lot of women need self-reflection. You are the problem.
You can either understand women or respect them as an equal, but you can't do both. I'll say that again. You can either understand women or respect them as an equal, but you can't do both. So since I understand y'all, I will never ever respect you guys as equals.
I want to do a series where I want to explain these hot takes, these quick takes, because this is the thing where a lot of people don't understand. Yes, it's on the surface, it sounds terrible. It sounds insane, misogyny. But if you actually dissect it, if you actually take your time to comprehend what it means, here's the thing. So respecting women, that women deserve, they should get equal pay. Okay, equal pay. But then when you understand women, you see it where even when you have equal pay, women will still want men to provide for them, to pay for bills, to take care of them, pay for dates. So this is the thing where how can at the same time you ask, oh, I want to be equally paid as a man, and then same breath to be treated differently. Men have to court me. Men have to pay for my time. Men have to pay for dinners. Men have to pay for trips. Men have to provide for me as a woman just because I'm a woman. That's the thing where, again, you're not understanding the meaning. Yes, if you respect a woman, you treat her like an equal. You don't treat her better. That's not respect. That's you being a doormat. If you respect someone, you treat them like an equal, i.e., a woman should get equal pay to a man. She should be paid equally to a man. So what a man makes, a woman should make as well. But if you understand women and that kind of ideology, as an example, and again, it's a generalization, why would women think they qualify or demand men to pay for dates? You know, if you go 50-50, she will never see you again. Women are complaining about men not providing for them. Women are complaining that, men are, not doing, dinner dates. They're only doing walking dates, coffee dates. That's the thing where, how can you respect someone, want them to treat you like equals, and then in the same breath say that you should treat me better than you? You should treat me better. That's the thing where, wake up. It is true, not in totality, but in general. How can you respect someone, treating them like an equal? Then in the same breath, you understand them, but they only want you to provide for them. They think they're better than you. You need to provide for them. You need to be the one to pay for dates. You need to be the one to plan dates. Think about the craziness where if men treat women like equals, thinking women should plan a date, boom, you're not gonna see her again. So, really comprehend things. Yes, it is hard to respect a woman, treat her like an equal, and then truly understand her.
This is the difference between me and my very type A boyfriend when we're staying in a hotel. This is me, like a normal person. I just live out of my suitcase for a few days. Clothes all over the floor. My makeup and hair care is taking up the entire sink. Wait for it. This is him. First of all, everything he wears has to be ironed first. And whenever we check in somewhere, he immediately unpacks and hangs up all his shirts so they don't get wrinkled. By the way, these are all basically the exact same shirt in different colors. Low-key serial killer vibes. Even these pants here, this is all the exact same pair of pants in different colors. Shoes are all perfectly lined up. They say opposites attract.
You know what? She probably loves him. But I mean, we don't talk about this, where I think more often than not, a lot of women are just settling for the man that they're with. Because to call your boyfriend, to say that he has serial killer vibes is insane. Literally insane. Just because he's organized, he gives you the vibe of a serial killer. I don't know how you think that that's not insulting. And to have the audacity to post it to the world to see how you view your man. You probably love him, but it's like, deep down you feel like, oh, he has serial killer vibe? What? Why? I swear it's like the internet have desensitized women to not seeing how they view their partners. Because imagine if that was the other foot. Women will recognize that. The subtle jabs, the insult, the disrespect. But if it's women towards men, no, it's fun and games. It's just joking. But I don't know what person would think that's a joke. If your partner thinks that you have serial killer vibe, how is that funny? It just shows you that they think that you're creepy, that you're maybe scary, that they need to watch their backs around you. I don't know. It just makes me believe that a lot of women, they're not into the men that they're with. I think a lot of women just find that the men that they're with are maybe stable in some kind of way. They're stable, so they pick them. They're not attracted to them. They may have a lot of, and she says she's opposite attracts, but really, is she really attracted to, him being different than her? It actually feels that their difference in her eyes is creepy. So I don't know.
I don't really like you. You know that, right? One second. Hi, babe. I'm hanging out with my friend. Shayla, you know her?
Shayla? That makes sense. How long y'all gonna be up?
Till like 2, probably.
2? I guess shit. I'll still be up though.
Okay, I'll call you.
Yeah, just call me when you about to make it in, alright?
Okay, babe.
Alright, I miss you.
I miss you.
Alright, I'm gonna talk to you later, alright?
Later. Bye-bye. Back to what I was saying.
Sometimes you wonder why the narrative where, the players don't settle down, or you hear some men saying they'd rather be the side dude. This is the thing where a lot of men these are the type of men that honestly probably know women the best. The men that date a lot of women, interact with, get with a lot of women, they probably know women the best. And then you wonder, and you see why these men rarely settle down. Because they know a lot of women. I'm not saying it's not all women, of course. They know a lot of women's character, the type of women. They know how they act. Because this is the thing where a lot of women, they have, I don't know, maybe a nature where they want a man to be perfect. If he can't be perfect, she's gonna spread her options out where she's with this man, dealing with that man, she's in a relationship with that man because he can provide, so on and so on. Because women have, I'm not saying all, but women have a kind of a desire where the grass is greener. Where one, they don't want to be bored. I've said this before. I think one of the most dangerous emotion or feeling a woman can have is boredom. If she's bored, she's leaving you. If she's bored, she's divorcing you. So that's one of the most dangerous. And this is the thing where to compensate for that boredom, well, she either date toxic men or she date multiple toxic men. And she may, I don't know, wife up the provider simp. And this is the thing where, because you also wonder why do women always get with the cheaters, the liars, the men that don't commit? Why? Because you got things like, it doesn't make sense when you hear a woman talk about, oh my God, all of her dating history is just constant cheaters, constant liars. You gotta put two and two together. Again, it makes it seem like, you know what? The men are not the problem. Women are. It's women. Because, like I said, I believe women are addicted to drama. They have a allergic reaction to boredom. So a lot of women will, maybe unknowingly, subconsciously, date the more toxic men. Date the type of men that she knows that he's bad for her. She knows it. But she will ignore it because it kind of gives her a dopamine thing. Like, I guess, extreme happiness and extreme sadness. So, and, it's also a thing where I think also women have a desire to be part of the victimhood sisterhood club. So, I don't know, but...
All right, it's going down to the next one. Okay. Can I get your name and age?
My name's Jalen, and I'm 23.
And Jalen, what do you do?
I do HVAC. I work on ACs.
All right, and why did you pop your balloon?
It just seemed like it was like too much for me to handle, to be honest. Like, it just seemed like it was out of my range.
Too much to handle?
Yeah, like...
Can we reference what we're talking about?
It just seemed like I just can't handle that, so I'm just gonna let it go.
Dang, I never heard that before.
Yeah, so...
I just gotta ask real quick. Is it personality-wise, or are we talking about physically, maybe the back end?
Maybe a little bit of both.
Dang, really?
Yeah,
wow.
But you look good, though. I ain't knocking it, but...
Thank you. We can't be mad at him. At least he know that, he ain't gonna try to, listen, I ain't the one, I can't handle it. So we commend you for that one, okay? All right, let's come on back down.
One thing I respect the most about a lot of good men that a lot of people, especially women, don't recognize, that they don't want to waste time. They don't want to waste people's time. And they know that a lot of times this is a thing where men will know that women complain that, oh, he's insecure and stuff like that sometimes, where in reality that men can really predict what a possible future is with you by how your personality is, how you look. He can gauge you. I've turned down or not entertained some women who I know is going to be high maintenance. I'm going to have to pay for it. I'm going to have to pay for it. So that's a no. I couldn't do it. And I've turned down women who are just like extremely big bootied, where honestly I'm like, no, it is too much for me. It is. It would be physically too much for me, so I don't want to waste her time, wasting my time. So, so I've seen it. A lot of men who know that, the thing where women say, oh, she's out of my league, so I don't want to go for her. Even if he's attracted to her, I think that's a sign of maybe not in totality, but a good man who she is attractive. I would love to be with her, but honestly, it's not a good thing. It won't turn out right. I think those are the type of men who actually want relationships, not just booty call or something short term. Those are men who actually want relationships. Where I've seen the video where a man said that his type, he wouldn't go for his type because he doesn't see it working out with his type. I essentially saying thinking that his type is like a really good looking woman. Yeah, that would be most men's type essentially. What man doesn't want a good looking woman? But at the end of the day, he realized that it wouldn't work out getting with certain type of women. And that's what I would respect a lot from good men that know that I ain't just gonna waste both of our times. It's really pointless. So yeah, and a lot of women don't see that trait in men.
Tell me if I'm tripping or not. So it's frowned upon for you to have a sugar daddy and sleep with him for money and stuff. You could call like a whore, blah, 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 blah. But it's not frowned upon to give yourself away for free to a broke ass man and have his baby.
You're tripping. This is a thing where I need women to really understand. Men don't give a shit what you do. Men don't. This is the thing. You can have a sugar daddy. You can date the broke man. You can date the toxic man. You can date the abusive man. You can do whatever you want. The issue, why men say shit, why do men like now give their opinions, is because when you choose, okay, willingly, when you choose the sugar daddies, the abusive men, the broke men, whatever, you willingly choose these men. And then you come on, subsequently said, oh, all men are dogs. All men just want money, or just want me to use me for my body. All men this, all men that. There's no good guys out there. There's no nice guys out there. Men are DL. It's like you blame everyone for your mistakes. You blame everyone for your choice in men, except yourself. That is when men come on and say shit. They don't care what you choose to do with your life. You can do whatever you want. The problem is that you lack accountability, and then you blame everyone besides yourself for how your life turns out. That is the problem. That is the problem. Women consistently, they choose who they want. And then they choose who they want. And it turns out bad. And then they blame the world for their bad choices, for the outcomes of their choices. And they show the lack of accountability. They show that, you know what, it's everyone else's fault but your own. It's that, you know what, you ruin your life, you get a kid by a broke man, and then now you have higher standards. Before you gave the chance your body to a broke man, now, after the broke man used your body, now you have a higher standards, but now you have a child, or you've been used by a broke man. So you have lower dating value, but higher standards for the next man to have to meet. And if he meets it, what is he getting? This is the thing where it's like, the problem is not who women choose. You can choose whoever you want. It's the lack of accountability. It's the blaming everyone else for the results of your life, for the results of your actions. That is the issue.
I made a post, it said accountability is black women's biggest ops. Some girl got in my comments and was like, oh, well, black women are more accountable than men. And I said, well, this comment just contradicted your point, because instead of acknowledging what I'm saying and who I'm talking about, you're deflecting about niggas who ain't even part of the motherfucking conversation. She ended up deleting the comment.
Controversial take. I think a lot of problems, a lot of relationships would be saved if women understand accountability. If women actually do self-reflection. If women see that they are at fault of a lot of the problems in their life, I think things would be more cohesive, just more, I don't know, be able to solve, right? Like relationships, any flaws in a relationship, it was constantly blamed on men. You will never see what you contribute to the downfall of your relationship. You will never see what you contribute to the starting of an argument. And a lot of women don't see their flaws. They don't. A lot of women honestly believe that they are God's gift to earth. And they show it where I had a girlfriend who said that she would never say sorry because she never feels like she's wrong. How is that conducive to any kind of conversation? How is that? How can you have an actual conversation with someone when they can never see any faults in their argument, in their point of view? When everything they say, everything they think, they are right at. It's kind of like a lose-lose thing. You can't even say opinion. You can't say how you feel because you are always wrong. That's the thing where I think a lot of women are stuck in. They always feel like they're right. They always feel like it's the men to blame. Everything. They are constant victims, and they just don't see any faults in what they do.
And another thing, the men's is dressing like studs now. The men are dressing like stud. Y'all keep like all the little girls and boys clothing. Y'all want to dress like boys. Y'all want to dress like men. The men's is dressing like fucking stud. I have seen 3 men on my timeline alone today that I thought were studs by the way they were fucking dressed. Like, y'all dressing like studs. Y'all starting to look like studs. Or maybe my world is just so fucking gay that I can't, I don't know. But I said...
Stupid takes like this is why it's hard to take women seriously. It's hard to even listen to what women are saying. It's hard to have a conversation with women because honestly, it seems like they don't base their logic on actual logic. What do studs dress like? They dress like men. They're masculine women. Masculine. So to say that now men are dressing like masculine women, what's that even mean? How was men dressing before? Like feminine women? It's like you don't even put a thought into it. Where's your logic? Where's your logic? This is why men. You hear these things where men only like women for how they are, their body, and then men don't like them for I don't know, their personality or whatever. Sometimes when I don't know, how you talk, your thought process is all based on emotion, I can understand why there are some men that only view women as just, sexual objects. Which is, I'm not saying I'm condoning it, or I'm saying that's a good thing, but this is a thing where a lot of women don't realize. How about put a bit more thought in the things you say? Make it make sense. It's absolutely ridiculous. This is a controversial opinion or theory I have that people don't talk about or they don't agree with. I don't think most divorces are filed because of infidelity necessarily, or maybe the money. I think those are popular ones, but the most reasonings that they put for divorces are irrevocable differences. And in my opinion, those things, the true reasoning is that women are bored. I've said this before, where I think the most dangerous emotion a woman can have is boredom. If she's bored, she will leave you. If she's bored with life and thinks that she deserves better, or thinks that there are better out there, she will leave. Clapping for myself for choosing to leave my 10-year marriage because the unknown seems better than settling for familiarity, safety, and comfortability. So, by those three adjectives, I guess, sounds like it's a good guy. She was married to a good person. She just wants excitement. She's bored, right? The unknown is more exciting than someone who is kind, good, comfortable, much better, right? The unknown, that's more exciting than something than a commitment she chose to take up. I think women file for divorce 70% of the time, and I believe most of it, I don't have no numbers, but I believe that a good chunk of those percentage, if not the most, is because of this. They're bored. They fall down in love with a person. They feel like there's no chemistry, there's no vibe. They think that there's something better out there, and that's the thing where I want to just talk about, is that the narrative where when people talk about divorce, it's always the man. He must have cheated. He must have done something terrible. That's why she's leaving. No, I think she's leaving because she's bored. She's leaving because, you know what? She thinks that she can get better. She thinks that there's something better out there. The grass is greener. I think that's the craziness. And that, in my opinion, is also, a lot of men are seeing that. And that's why, what's the point of marriage? When that level of commitment, you can just easily toss aside because you're bored. 10 years with someone, thrown aside because you're bored.
You ever just think to yourself and be like, I just don't like men at this moment. I don't know what it is. I don't like men. Like, I'm not gay. I'm not into girls, but I just don't. It's just like, what am I getting out of this? Like, besides a heartbreak, man, or you disappoint me. What I'm getting out of this, brother? What I'm getting out of this? At this point, I'm looking at a relationship as a business. Like, I don't even care about men. Like, men irritate me so bad. And I hate when men come up to me and ask for my number. Get out of my face. Get out of my face. I don't care what you're talking about. I don't care how much money you got. If you ain't giving it to me, I don't care. And no, you ain't getting no cookie for it.
I don't know. I'm so tired of men. They irritate me.
You know, I said this before. Any person, man or woman, said, "Oh, I hate women. I hate men." You know, I think that's a point where maybe you should be alone. Maybe you should get out of the dating market. Stop dating. Stop entertaining. Stop dealing with the opposite gender. Because this is the point where hate, when you have to start realizing that, you know what? Maybe you are not meant to procreate. Maybe you're not meant to be with someone else. Because here's the thing. One, constantly me. You're selfish. This is a thing where if you're by yourself, cool. Of course you think only about yourself. When you're in a relationship, when you're dealing with someone else, how about not just think only about yourself? This is a problem with a lot of women. All you do is think about yourself. Man or woman, if you only think about yourself, maybe you can see why you are getting the type of men or the type of people you're getting that wants to be used. The top selfishness in and of itself, right? Complete selfishness is toxic when you only think about yourself. So if you are toxic yourself, don't be surprised that you attract said toxic people too. This is it's a thing where I find it amazing that some people are just meant to be alone. It is. And you can see that mindset is just meant to be alone. If you only care about what someone else can do for you, and most likely you could do very little for the other person, maybe you're just not meant to be with someone. And I've said this before, that you know, a lot of women hate men's content. Guess what? If women like this get out of the dating market, stop complaining about men, don't deal with men, don't interact with men, absolutely go none, okay? I honestly believe men's content would disappear or erode immensely. There would be very little men's content, because what would men have to complain about? Because this is the thing, it's women like that men talk about. It's women like that men deal with. You hate men so much, yet I guarantee you won't stop dealing with men in any form, right? For money, for pleasure, for whatever. You still won't stop dealing with men. And that's the problem. So many women complain so much about men. They still deal with the men that they find attractive. Stop it then. Just stop it.